That's kind of crazy because, well, yeah, I actually really enjoyed Kaiji. The only thing with Kaiji for me, it was more of a, an addicting ride one. Like Death Note to me is my favorite series, and I always end up talking about it. But it was a really addicting ride type series to me. I really enjoyed just watching through and seeing the plot twist. Kaiji had that, but I didn't. The only thing that it didn't have, Kaiji for me, was it didn't have that sort of depth of like, oh, I wouldn't say Death Note has depth of characters, but it didn't have that sort of, I don't know, just weird characters. Kaiji was just kind of I don't know, a weird character. Like he just seemed so freaked out over everything all the time. And yeah, the narrator got long and drawn out sometimes in that series.
Yeah, I think you're right about Kaji. He did seem freaked out at everything. Like he couldn't quite comprehend what was going on, and then when he finally did, there was something else going on that completely shocked him.
Yeah. It was just a kind of like this. The show was always on the edge. Like you're like, what is happening? This is so weird. But I really enjoyed it from the sort of, I watched it in a weekend, just shot right through it because it was just kept you going. Every episode led up to the next one.
And Death Note, I actually have not seen the Death Note anime, and ever since it first appeared on that Adult Swim when it took its air on there. But I kind of have a special connection with Death Note because I originally read all the mangas like directly when they were translated, and at that time the TV show wasn't out over here, and Death Note had some pretty decent popularity when I was reading the manga, but it really just exploded up into the air after the TV show came out.
Yeah, and well, even before the TV show came out here, I mean, it was quickly right from when it was airing on in Japan when people were watching it there, and then after the year after that, yeah, it's always been growing in popularity. And I'm not gonna say I don't think it's the best series ever. I think there's much better, like, written and put together series out there. But for me, Death Note, yeah, it just has that factor where a lot of different people can enjoy it, but it also has like an edge factor to it. I
Hmm.
would say though that from my perspective, the most sort of quote unquote popular good series out there is probably Full Metal Alchemist. Like if I had to recommend a series, I don't love Full Metal Alchemist that much, but if I had to recommend a series to someone I knew nothing about, just said, what's anime? Like what do people like in anime? I recommend Full
Hmm.
Metal Alchemist. That has a lot of the general things people enjoy about it: a solid story, good animation, good characters, and it's all put together in a coherent and long story. So yeah,
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is I've never seen that.
you've never seen Full Metal Alchemist.
I have the first seven. Yeah, I have the first seven volumes, but I've never the wrapping's still on them.
Wow, that's kind of surprising. I mean, I think you would agree with me that's a pretty popular series.
Oh, absolutely. It's probably one of the most popular of all
Yeah.
time.
So, I mean, obviously some series like Naruto and Bleach get more popularity, but they have a lot more problems than Full Metal Alchemist does, from the storyline point of view and filler episodes and whatnot.
Yeah, like for the most part, if I haven't reviewed it, I probably haven't seen it.
Yeah. And
Like there's just a few shows that I have seen and I haven't reviewed.
at this point, the mildly frustrating thing about doing Aniview is because there's two of us, right? We both have to have watched it. At this point, though,
Hmm.
we have 26 series backed up that we could review, and growing. But the thing is, I'm doing solo reviews over the summer now, and almost all of the good series that I've watched, Leon's watched too. So we're saving those to review together, and so I have exactly two series that I feel comfortable reviewing still, solo left. Two. So I have to like get on top of watching more stuff if I want to get more solo reviews out there.
Oh yeah, I'm exactly the same way. Like I have to watch something new before we review because I just don't have that much left in the arsenal. I had a lot when I started, but
Oh yeah.
it's quickly depleted because I think I've made about 65 episodes now, and I probably only have a couple dozen beyond that that I could still review. But my memory is starting to fade on those, so I need to hurry up.
Yeah, that's the
Stuff like
thing.
stuff like Trigun. I have all the Trigun, but man, I'm starting to forget everything about that.
Is Trigon one of your favorite series?
I like it, but I'm afraid that before I review it, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again because it's probably been a good part of 4 years since I've seen it.
I do find that people who enjoy Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star enjoy Trigun. Like those are kind of a trifecta of series. They just people who like one or two of those usually like the third type thing. Just like the Kyoto Annie ones, the Clanad, Air, and Canon. Oh man, those series.
Yeah. As far as Bebop goes, I do enjoy it because I find it to be a good action piece. But I would have to put Trigun and Outlaw Star above it because Bebop doesn't have the humor,
Hmm.
and for some reason, space adventures I think need lots of humor because I don't know. I enjoy a little like Bionic Slime. If you know
Oh
him,
yeah.
he always says a little bit of humor goes a long way, and Bebop or Outlaw Star and Trigun, they definitely have that.
Hmm. So, like, is there any? You said like, humor goes a long way. So, if you were watching a really serious series, I'm trying to think of some off the top of my head. Have you seen Now and Then, Here and There?
I haven't.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep going then. Have you seen Serial Experiments Lane?
No.
And have you seen Paranoia Agent?
Yes.
Okay, so that one, I don't think Paranoia Agent has any humor. What would you consider it? Like, what I'm trying to ask here is there a series that could be completely serious and you could fully enjoy, or is comedy like a necessary part for you?
Well, I can usually find humor in anything. I did find some funny stuff in Paranoia Agent, like the part where the boy hits the guy with the bat, and he gets up and throws the shoe at him and knocks him
Oh
down.
yeah, I do remember that.
Um, I don't know. I just kind of look for it because I like to keep myself smiling. But there are shows that don't have much humor in them.
Hmm.
Um, let me think of one. Like that. Well, Grave of the Fireflies, for instance. There's really I can't find anything funny in that movie because the situation that it takes. But yeah, it's excusable. It doesn't have to have humor.
Hmm. Well, yeah, because um, I'm gonna go on a quick little tangent here, but for me, I find a lot of reviewers feel the need to like if a series has to be perfect, it has to have that sort of Shakespearean mix where it's solid story, solid characters, has the I don't want to say like the comedy moments, but comedic relief. That's what I'm looking for. Like it has that whole Shakespearean structure to it, and then it can be a quote unquote perfect series. But for me, like series like I'm trying to think of you saw Gunslinger Girl, right?
I did.
And so I know you didn't fully enjoy that one, but you gave it a decent mark. I really enjoy that one. It's in my top 10, and I don't think there's any humor in that to my knowledge, like or anything that I found particularly funny. But I really got in touch with it, and I really think it was a well-made story. I think there's some problems with it, but I really think it was a well-made story. But it definitely doesn't follow that whole Shakespearean idea. And so would you say that it has to? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say like this ideal like it has that exact
Yeah.
set story? Like Full Metal Alchemist definitely has that style where it's you have serious moments, comedic moments, storyline going, characters developing, and it has to have all those elements together.
Yeah, it's common for a lot of people to like it that way because you know how the way people's emotions runs. If they find something in a show that offsets the balance of emotion, then it bothers them.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, I became kind of a victim to that in Gunslinger Girl. Um, technically and technically and emotionally, there was nothing wrong with Gunslinger Girl. I thought it was good. It's the only show that I've ever docked points on because of the way I felt emotionally at the end of the show. I just thought the idea was so cruel and wrong, and it just affected my rating, which is very surprising because I'm pretty sure it's the only time that the cruelness of the story has ever got me to dock points on a show.
Wow, that's surprising considering Grave of the Fireflies. That's I guess Grave of the Fireflies isn't cruel. It's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah. Grave of the Fireflies I excuse a little bit because it's kind of based on real events that most likely happened over there.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are kids that are hired by military factions to kill people around the world. That is also a reality.
Hmm. Yeah, Gunslinger Girl for me, it's controversial, but I love controversial. The more I don't the deeper and darker series get for me, the more interesting they are to me. Just because I don't know. I mean, I've watched a lot of series at this point, and just the only things that really uh, catch me off guard is when things are either really well done or really controversial. Like those are the only two things that really um, catch me off guard. So I need one of those two things to kind of happen for me to really like it. And that's part of the reason. I actually found Gunslinger Girl really emotional at the end too, and that's really what brought up the mark a lot for me. I actually found the last episode really touching.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely touching.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's to me, it's an interesting series.